first 6 jurors have now been seated in the historic Donald Trump hush money case. Thank you so much for joining us with Pix 11 News at 6. I'm Shirley Chan.
I'm Corey Chambers. Day 2 of this historic criminal trial of former President Trump. And things are really moving now. A 7th juror just selected late this afternoon, and the judge now saying opening statements could start as soon as next Monday.
Yeah, our Pix 11's Henry Rossoff has been monitoring all of this for us. Henry, tell us why the pace has suddenly picked up.
And what a difference a day makes. Yesterday, we had the judge talking about this jury selection process taking 2 weeks, and there was some speculation we'd have to work through Wednesdays, which are supposed to be court off days, just to move through more quickly. Well, the 96 original juror panelists who would be answering questions and maybe selected to this jury, about half were eliminated right away yesterday. We covered that, and we drilled down into the other 50 or so, asking them a series of intense questions. We got down to about 18 people who said they wouldn't be biased and would be able to be impartial to former President Donald Trump. They vetted through these candidates, questions by both sides, the prosecutor, the Trump defense team, some social media posts, some questionable ones talking about locking up the former president in one case were brought up. The judge dismissed that person. And then we got down to the number 6 that no one had any complaints with. The Trump defense team was able to eliminate some, the prosecution eliminated some, and we had 6. And then we reviewed another smaller panel this evening, and that yielded a 7th jury. So we are moving right along.
So, Henry, jurors obviously are anonymous. We know that. But is there anything you can tell us about these 7?
We have some basic biographical information. Right now, it's a pretty even mix of men and women. We know there's a nurse. We know there's an IT consultant. We know there's a software engineer. We know there's a corporate lawyer, just to name a few of the responsibilities. But a large cross-section of both geographically, as far as Manhattan's concerned. This is from uptown, downtown, Lower East Side in one case. So a pretty good mix of men, women, different walks of life, different parts of the borough.
And Henry, we heard from the former president yesterday. Has he made any statements today about the process moving along?
Other than some grievances this morning that we've already aired, no. After this picked up pace, we've yet to hear directly from the former president himself. He's actually headed uptown right now to Jose Alba, the bodega where Jose Alba, that's the bodega worker that stabbed someone that came in and tried to rob the store, was initially charged with murder by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg before charges were dropped due to lack of evidence and, frankly, public outcry. And that is likely to underscore a point that he's made many, many times. It's a bit of a false equivocation, but the former president likes to point out that there are certain crime issues here in Manhattan, and he's being charged with what is, generally speaking, albeit a felony, but a white-collar crime.
A super quick question for you. I know yesterday you mentioned that people thought that maybe the president's fallen asleep during the proceedings. I'm curious, do we see that happen again today?
I think between the reporting of it yesterday kind of catching his attention, and I didn't witness this personally, so I caveat everything by saying the reporting of it, and today being a much busier, more active day with active questioning, absolutely not. In fact, at one point, the former president appeared to say something or gesture toward a juror, showing he was much more engaged, but also that's a huge no-no. And the judge scolded him quite directly, saying, "You will not intimidate a juror in my courtroom."
All right, our Henry Rossoff, our eyes and ears on the ground. We appreciate your reporting.